Are we live? Is there audio?
Is there audio? Can you hear me? Or am I interrupting your ear
Oh,
space?
look. Yeah.
Oh no.
Whoops.
Should just start the entire thing over again.
No, it's fine. We're here now.
We're learning.
I warned everyone there'd be educational issues with this whole thing. Anywho, so
Where were we?
onward and upwards, right? So the topic of the day is comparing yourself to social media peoples. So this would be for an example, finding like a really buff dude on the internet and being like, wow, I want to look just like him, 100% like him. And then being upset because that buff dude on the internet's probably airbrushed as heck and not actually how he looks.
Yeah, filters. Filters are the enemy. Everyone's on filter and they make you think you look like shit.
Yes, it is so disheartening to like, it's okay to have motivation. For example, like Arnold, he motivates all of us. And he does look pretty dang good. But the downside of that, though, is whenever you get to the point where you're trying to compare yourself to them and like trying to judge your results on how close you look to that person, there's a lot of things that go wrong with that. Like he just said, the filters. A lot of those people are only taking pictures at like the best possible times.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, you can atone to this lighting.
Oh yeah, lighting is amazing. And again, the best possible times. A lot of those people who act like they're, just regular people, these Instagram models and whatnots, are actually there are a lot of people that do shows and things like that. So they're doing crazy dieting for us for a certain amount of time to look like that. They don't look like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're just taking a ton of pictures while they look like that. I myself did that. I don't look like I did when I did my shows. But yeah, you can't compare yourself because it's just that it's not a sustainable way to be in the first place.
And like camera angling is a big part of it too. Like for example, I think you mentioned this before. You'll see a picture of someone and then you'll see him at the Arnold and they'll be like half the size.
Oh, yeah. There's a Lee Priest he's a famous bodybuilder. He's huge, like just insanely huge. And then I saw him at the Arnold and he only comes up to here. He's still a big dude, but it kind of makes you feel a little different about it.
Yeah, it's amazing how what is the saying? I've been trying to think of it this whole time. I've been stalling for it. It's like don't aim for your stars or something like that, or don't try to.
Don't ever meet your heroes.
Oh, don't ever meet your heroes. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Don't ever meet your heroes. It's the same deal. Like you get this idea because you get this snapshot of people's life and think that like, oh, it's this amazing thing. Oh, they just walk around with these amazing abs all year long. There's never a point when they don't look good. And then you're kind of just crushed because you have that expectations of yourself. And I can guarantee you right now, like us sitting down, like it does not look like we have amazing abs when we're sitting down. Not at all. Like if you can see our abs at all, we're happy. At least it's like first thing in the morning, you haven't drank any water.
But that's the best time.
Yeah, that's
always. If you do want to trick the internet, that's when to take your pictures, right when you wake up.
Exactly. I really wish that like more like big names on Instagram and stuff like that would take more pictures, like just candid pictures, to let people realize like, hey, like, yeah, I look good, but I don't look that good all the time.
Well, Dylan back there, one of our regulars at the gym, he was showing me this app that he has, and it literally like you can just make different pick and choose and make different muscles bigger on your picture, like, and it looks legit. Like, and it's like this easy app to use, and it's like, holy shit, like,
yeah, I
couldn't believe it.
It's ridiculous. And there's so many like Photoshop now, like you can make yourself have like the Disney princess curves if you wanted to, or look like Gaston or whatever you want to look like. You can literally be anyone you want to with the power of the internet.
Well, TikTok's got that now. Every girl on TikTok has luscious lips, like big luscious lips, because there's a filter that does it.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were talking about that the other day. Everyone looks so exotic,
it's
but
evil. It's evil.
You have no idea what anyone actually looks like anymore. Now, the trick to this though is you really want to like, you can use that stuff for inspiration, but whenever you're like comparing for progress, you really can only compare yourself to yourself. So whenever it's you can't look at like some amazing Instagram celebrity who's done everything in the possible universe to make them look good and then think, oh, I need to compare my progress to that. Your best bet is to really like buckle it down a bit, take some progress pictures of yourself and compare that from throughout the stages of you trying to get in shape. Because if you compare yourself to someone else, especially someone who's very photoshopped or airbrushed up, you're never going to be satisfied.
And on that same note, when you do that, because there's such a big difference with lighting, you have to use the same lighting yourself. Otherwise, you're going to make yourself feel bad because this picture you took it in really good lighting, and then this next picture you took it in really crappy lighting, and well, I haven't done anything well. I look worse. But no, lighting makes that much of a difference.
It really does. You can take the same picture in the same room, but just be a couple feet away from the mirror or just in a slightly different angle, and it'll be different. So you got to stay consistent with these pictures. And the other thing, whenever it comes to that stuff, like comparing yourself to big social media people, to be honest, everyone's different. Like the way they're made up or the way they're built is going to be different from the way you're made up and built. So you can't really, it's like comparing apples and oranges. Like some people are going to naturally be able to put on more muscle, put on more size. Some people are not going to be able to do that as easily. That doesn't mean you can't, but that means it's just a little bit more difficult for you. And you can't just assume like, because there is people out there that look that way, that you are not going to be good looking unless you look that way too. You got to be comfortable with the fact that like it's going to take you a little bit longer. You might not be as big or as lean as some people are, but you can be the best version of you that you can be. And that's freaking amazing. Like I know some people who's been training for years and they look great, but naturally, like their natural build, they're naturally smaller, leaner, or they're naturally bigger and broader. It just sort of the cards they were dealt in a way. Like, I'm not going to be as big as him. It's just I'm not going to be.
I won't let him.
Yeah. Anytime I start to get bigger, he
Smack his hand.
smacks me,
Nope.
knocks the weight out of my hand. It's just it's just the truth of the matter. And it sucks in some ways, but in a lot of ways, like it's something to be proud of. Like I am a hard gainer. I do not gain easy. And every little bit of size that I put on, like I worked my butt off. I fought tooth and nail, and he worked really hard for his too. He actually started off fairly small too. He was probably bigger than I am at my age, but still.
How big are you? What's your weight?
I'm 150.
150. So yeah, I was larger than you, but still couldn't gain weight to save my life.
Yeah, and it's really a journey. Like it takes time, it takes effort, and it's not going to be the same for anyone. So to compare yourself to someone else, like if I was comparing my progress to how John looks now, which admittedly I do sometimes, I'd be really sad, which admittedly I am sometimes. And it's just not fun.
On a second, like a side note of that, you also compare yourself to Athlete X.
Yeah.
And there's body dysmorphia is real.
Mm-hmm.
You truly do not know what you really look like to everyone else. Especially as you make progress, even if you notice a little progress yourself, you're still never going to realize how far you've gotten. He all the time, like Athlete X is his favorite, like physical trainer.
Yeah. YouTuber.
But I've seen many times a year where he actually looks better than him. And he's still aspiring to look like him. And it's like, you're already there, bub.
Actually, Tammy Lambert did something like that. She sent me a picture of this lady's arms. It was I think Diana Lynn Bailey or some. Yeah. I always just call her DLB because I can't talk. Doob. And she wanted to look like her. And her goal was to reach those arms. And she took a picture in the mirror the other day and she's so freaking close. She doesn't see it ever, no matter who says it, but her arms are looking amazing. She's doing great. And it's just one of those things where like, I think even if we were to reach the body type we want to reach, we wouldn't see it anyway.
No.
And I think the Instagram people that we were just talking about, they're probably the same way.
Oh, absolutely.
They probably look at themselves all the time and be like, man, my arms are so small. And they got like 24-inch arms.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like, especially like people in the gym, they always make the joke like how they're arrogant people. But really, people in the gym are typically the most insecure people you ever meet.
100%. If you see someone who's willing to push themselves to the limits to look the way you want to look, they didn't do it because they already look good.
Right.
They did it because they thought they looked bad.
Yeah.
it's a very sad and harsh reality that it's a hamster wheel.
And most of them, even though they'll feel like they look good on one hand, and then at the other hand, they'll be like, "Oh, I'll never be where I want to be."
Mm-hmm.
It's a constant. I'm personally like that. Always have that struggle where I always feel like you forget who you are because you don't see yourself in the mirror all the time. You don't. And when you look, it is just a progress picture.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not seeing yourself with other people. You don't really you don't notice things.
Yeah, it's so easy to really miss out on like how much progress you made and how good you look. And that's why those progress pictures really are like the best way to keep up with how you're looking, because it's the only way to really notice change, because when you see yourself on a daily basis, but you only see yourself like um, at that moment, you don't think about where you're at. It's so hard to really see the changes because you're seeing that day to day, and you're only comparing yourself to you right now. And progress is slow, so you don't see like it's not like you wake up one day and have abs. It's like you slowly get it over time. So that's why taking those progress pictures, if you take a progress picture now, 3 months from now, if you train hard, you're going to notice those differences. And that should be the motivation, is keeping track of where you're at, how you look, what kind of stuff you're doing, and using that to drive you versus using some person on the internet that probably started long before you've seen them on the internet to look the way they look, and might just like it might come a little bit easier for them, and they have all those amazing tools to play with to make themselves look better. So that's really the meat and potatoes of like what I was trying to get across. um, Compare yourself to you. Don't compare yourself to the amazing Colin von Mauger or someone along those lines, because it's not a fair battle.
That's the one I want to look like.
Yeah, me too. But I'm also like several inches too short.
I am too, actually.
Yeah, the dude's massive.
That jerk.
How could he do this?
Ridiculous.
You know what? I take everything back. I said we need to knock him down a notch.
See, that's the key. Instead of worrying about how you feel, just destroy your enemies.
Yes, take everyone else out, and then you'll always look better.
That's genius.
Okay, we found a solution to this, guys.
We're done. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is now.
Well, I think that pretty much sums up our first podcast. Do you have anything else you want to add in?
No. I mean, got to get on that venture to get Callum. So
Yeah, we got to figure out where he's at right now. He's probably moved around. So I want to say sorry for the technical difficulties at the beginning of this. It's our first one. They'll be better. We plan on doing these quite frequently. We'll have a schedule up soon. But it was pretty fun. If you have any questions or anything you would like to see in the next podcast, or something you'd like us to cover, feel free to comment below, and we'll definitely have that up for you. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay dedicated. I forgot it doesn't just cut. I can't just cut it.
cut.
I have to actually go over here and hit the end button.